Well, it is noon here in Lagos, Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Kairo Kikilu. Well, here's our lineup for today. It's out with the old and in with the new for local council governance in Rivers State, South Nigeria, as Governor Fubara swears in 23 caretaker chairmen. But some of the outgone chairmen have vowed to resist the appointment. And following that swearing in, an audit has been ordered into the accounts of all the local governments in the past 3 years for Rivers State. Well, hello and welcome to the show. We start off with the big story coming in from Rivers State. It's been days of keeping watch on the political situation. But today, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has sworn in a new caretaker chairman for 23 local government areas of the state. The swearing-in was done at the council chambers of the Government House in Port Harcourt, the state capital, amid tight security, with the first batch of 11 caretaker chairmen taking their oath of office. Well, Governor Fubara then mandated the Auditor General of the state to begin the audit of the accounts of the 23 local government areas for the past 3 years. Well, Governor Fubara stated this while swearing in the committee chairman, the caretaker committee chairman, that is, shortly after they were screened and confirmed by the Rivers State House of Assembly. And there you see the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by the Victor Okojumbo, commencing the screening of 23 caretaker chairmen following a correspondence from the governor. And in the letter, Governor Fubara said the screening and confirmation of the committee members is to avoid a vacuum in the administration of the local government areas following the expiration of the tenure of the elected chairman. On Monday, well, some of the prominent names on the list are Chijoke Onwo, who is the chairman of the National Youth Council in Rivers State, nominated to chair the committee in the FCT minister and former Governor Wike's Obiakpo local government area. The two former council chairmen that challenged the extension of tenure by the Martin Amewole-led assembly are also nominated by the governor to serve as caretaker chairman of Bonny and Opobo-Nkoro local government areas, with the two chairman of Bonny and Opobo-Nkoro local government areas, Honorable Nyeda Kukigam and Dame Anengi Barswa, as we said, made it to that list. And to the general, the state of security in the area, the police have barricaded several local government areas in the council offices, I shall say, in the state, due to the potential for clashes to erupt. In Akugutoro local government area, some former elected officials claim that they are being denied access. It's the same at the Port Harcourt City Local Government Council, which is close to the Government House, where some pro-Fubara supporters who have kept vigils sitting around the area accused the police of chasing them with tear gas last night and trying to stop them from what they describe as standing up for democracy, saying an extension of tenure is unhealthy for a democratic nation. Earlier today, the former Port Harcourt local government area chairman, Olweli Hona, arrived with a crowd of people chanting songs, but they were resisted from entrance by the police. Now, one of the frontliners amongst the crowd, Maxwell Enwukwe, a former council executive and the present coordinator of Grassroots Development Initiative in the Port Harcourt local government area, which is a group loyal to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, speak on their mission as they vow to resist any attempt by the new caretaker chairman to take over from them. Now, this political tension in Rivers State over the tenure of local government chairman in the state has actually claimed the lives of 2 security operatives in Omoma local government area of the state yesterday. Confirming that incident, the spokesperson of the Rivers Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, said the victims are policemen and a vigilante operative. Earlier, the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, directed heads of administration in the 23 local government areas to take over from the elected council chairman whose 3-year tenure had elapsed on Monday. And shortly after, some youths invaded local government areas in the state, prompting the governor to convene a security meeting with security operatives in the state. We'll continue to keep our eyes on what is playing out in Rivers State, and we'll be bringing you some more insight into that situation. But let's bring you some more. This time, we head over to the National Assembly, where the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, says that Nigeria might not be experiencing banditry today. That's if the country had not changed its anthem in the 1970s. He made this remark during a visit to the Nigerian Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. Senator Akpabio highlighted the recent national anthem bill as one of the 10th Assembly's most appealing pieces of legislation. He also mentioned the Students' Loan Bill as another significant bill which was passed by the Assembly. The government says it has commenced the establishment of 8 compressed natural gas conversion centers in 4 states across the country. The Chief Executive Officer of the Presidential Initiative on CNG, Sir Michael Oluwagbemi, who made the disclosure at the Northern Stakeholders Engagement in Kaduna State, says it's part of efforts to cushion the impact of fuel subsidy removal by making transportation cheaper for Nigerians. Let's bring you more now. The Joint Union Congress of Police Service Commission has called on President Bola Tinubu to relieve the Inspector General of Police of his duty of his alleged meddlesomeness, in their words, in the recent recruitment of police constables. The union is also alleging that some within the Nigeria Police Force tried to smuggle names during the recruitment process, and they describe the reactions of the Nigeria Police Force as diversionary to prevent the president from noticing the, in their words, unpreparedness of the police training schools to handle the training of the new recruits owing to the sorry state of the facilities. The Police Service Commission had recently released 10,000 names of successful candidates employed by the commission from the recent recruitment exercise, and the list was rejected by the Nigeria Police Force, who described the recruitment process as fraudulent. Now on the show, and when we return, we'll bring you more political stories, plus some analysis of the situation in Rivers State. Stay with Channels Television. Well, let's now take you to Rivers State, where all eyes are on the executive, legislature, and the judiciary to see how the political impasse will be resolved. Well, this political tension, as we said, sadly has claimed the lives of 2 security operatives in Omuma local government area of the state. Well, this happened yesterday, and this has been reported by the spokesperson of the Rivers Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, saying the victims are a policeman and a vigilante operative. And this, again, brings concerns about the security situation in the state. And we understand that the police has barricaded major sports and the local government offices in the state.
The misgivings in Rivers State politics appear to have shifted to the 3rd year of government administration. Very early in the day, some people began to mobilize towards local government secretariats in the state. Their intention is to, in their words, prevent council chairmen whose tenure expired at 12 midnight on Monday, June 17, 2024, from accessing the premises. At Rumo Dumaya, the headquarters of Obiakpo local government area, is this site of singing, dancing, and even cooking. And for them, securing the secretariat is top priority, even if it entails staying a bit longer. The Joy Youth Council has joined in the occupation here, insisting that the tenure of the local government chairman is over.
We are here in solidarity with democracy. We are law-abiding citizens. We are Ijaw people. We stand for justice, we stand for peace, and we stand for equity. We are here to say, local government chairman, thank you. You have governed your local government council for 3 years. Please, peacefully take a walk and leave.
Events took a different turn at Port local government area as shots were fired when Olwell Ihuda attempted to enter the council and was resisted. In his response to today's development, Mr. Nosike says there is no cause for alarm as far as the local government council is concerned.
We have heard that in Omuma, they have attacked Nigerian police force. We are asking the Inspector General of Police to please, he needs to redeploy DIGs because it is clear that our city is becoming overwhelmed with the current crisis. If the information we are hearing in other local governments is anything to go by, the area commander and his men, all the DPOs have taken over the council. There is nobody in the council. We only came here to do this press conference so that when they will start posting their viral videos that we have run away from our council, we don't run for people.
Meanwhile, controversy appears to be brewing over the decision of 21 out of the 23 local government council chairmen to remain in office for the next 6 months. They say they have the backing of the law, among other considerations.
Nobody wants to stay beyond his tenure. But we run the constitutional democracy, where everything is by the law, the grand norm. And we must ask ourselves, what did the grand norm say about local government, the tenure of government? Is that must be governed by elected council chairman. And for whatever reason, if the governor of the state refuses to conduct local government election, and graciously the House of Assembly has extended our tenure, what fault is it of ours? It's never our fault. People rather should be asking the governor, why did you not conduct local government election when these persons at the tenure were running over? Okay. We were in River State, I challenge everybody. There was no time the state said they want to conduct election and somebody took them to court to conduct election. There was no time, I challenge. Yes.
2 chairmen have indicated interest to hand over to the administrative heads of their councils.
I've already vacated office, preparation for today. All I'm waiting is for His Excellency to give directive and we do the needful. In those local governments that were having issues, they should just embrace peace, and I will advise my colleagues, if I may say former colleagues, to obey the law.
As all of this unfolds, the governor seems not to be leaving anything to chance, as he has quickly convened an emergency security meeting which held behind closed doors. But here is a highlight of the discussion.
We are also aware that our enemy is also planning a lot of things, but we will not fall into that plot where we will allow him or them to destroy the peace that we're enjoying in the States. I am also aware that there is also a grand plan to come and arrest some of our supporters. This time around, you have to pass through me to arrest them, because I don't think there is anything that any of those people following us have done rather than stand on the side of truth. If it will cost us our life to stand on the side of truth, we will do that.
It's a day before resumption of work after the break to celebrate Eid Kabir. Residents and watchers of Rivers political events can only continue to hope for a quick resolution to all the crisis.
Well, that day has finally come, and it has seen the screening and swearing in of caretaker chairman for the River State local government areas. Well, let's get some more insight into this. We're joined by an associate professor of public law, River State University. Mr. Richard Wokocha joins us via Zoom on the program. Good afternoon, Mr. Wokocha. Well, you were live in River State, and for a lot of people watching from different parts of the country and across the world, they are watching with bated breath, wondering what is going on in River State. So speak to us first about the general mood Do you feel the palpable tension that people, at least who are watching, are feeling right now?
Well, there is an unnecessary tension that is in the air in Rivers State, especially in Port Harcourt and some nearby local governments. A tension that is absolutely unnecessary. The public space is not designed to face this kind of situation, and it's for me as a person in the law sector most shocking that Nigeria can descend to the level where individuals can confront the Constitution and claim to overwhelm or attempt to overwhelm the Constitution. That day should never have come. Unfortunately, we appear to be there today.
You know, if we try to just break it down, I'm sure we'll not really have time to go through all of the issues. So what we'll do is we'll take on at least the recent ones. Let's limit ourselves to the events of today. So we saw the Victor Kojombo-led assembly screening at that time, the nominees for caretaker chairman, and eventually, in quick succession, those same nominees were sworn in, and this happened within just few hours, and they are now said to be substantive caretaker chairman for the states. But you are an associate professor of public law, so you understand the law on this. There have been questions about the legality of the three-member Victor Kojombo-led Victor Kojombo House, and this is meant to be a 32-member house. So what does the law say about the legality? Can three people, or at least a three-member house, can they do the work that we're seeing the Victor Kojombo-led assembly doing? They've screened and confirmed commissioner nominees, now caretaker chairman.
Well, the law abhors vacuum, as you know. The Constitution provides, once convened, it provides for the House of Assembly of a state to be able to sit and to discharge its duties, notwithstanding any vacancies. There is a quorum, and that's 1/3 of members of the House. But as we speak, a number of members of the House have voluntarily, in exercise of their constitutional right, they have decided to move from their party and to vacate their seats in the House, going by the provisions of Section 109 of 1G of the Constitution and subsection 2, which prescribes follow-up action, which has taken place. And so as far as the law is concerned, the House is left with 3 members, also following the resignation of one more member who was not part of those who vacated their seat. He also vacated his seat voluntarily by resigning from the House. So that is all the House has at the moment. And in this circumstance, if there are necessary actions to be taken, short of those actions that require a certain percentage, like 2/3 majority of the House and all that, short of such action, majority will be majority of members sitting, apart from those places like impeachment, where the law requires majority of members of the House, prescribing the entire House. So I am afraid that is the only legitimate members left in the House, and the House will work according to the Constitution, notwithstanding any vacancy, until those seats are finally resolved and refilled.
Well, so what it means now, I don't know what local government you're from, or which of the representatives represent you in the State Assembly. So if we have just 3, it is safe to say this is not representative of the desire, the will of the Rivers people.
Not for any fault of, not for the fault of Rivers people. Rivers people voted people into the House, properly composed the House, constituted the House in the manner in which the Constitution desired it to be. But Rivers people did not, I am sure, I have not had any constituency say they directed their representatives to vacate the House. And so, I mean, Rivers people cannot be held responsible for it. And the state cannot be made to suffer because individuals took decisions that did not represent the position of their constituencies. I'm not certain they consulted their constituencies. Maybe they did, but we do not have that information in public domain. So the presumption is that they did not consult their constituencies and they chose to leave their constituencies unrepresented. So until legitimate steps are taken by INEC and opportunities presented for those constituencies to be able to refill their seats in the assembly, you cannot hold Rivers people responsible for that. And the state will not grant a halt for that reason.
So I don't know if we've ever seen this kind of situation. Yes, we've seen different situations across the states over time, but it looks like the Rivers situation is quite peculiar, and I think it's a trend we've seen with Rivers State, with subsequent or successive administrations having its own kind of impasse with the previous person in power. Is this and this is really speaking to the heart, perhaps, is this a Rivers thing? Is this a politics thing? I mean, they say lightning shouldn't strike twice on the same spot, but we've seen the same lightning striking not once, not twice, over the past few decades. So what exactly is at the heart of this? I don't know if Rivers people sit back and say, why Rivers?
I'm sure you will notice that this is a new Rivers character. It does appear to be a new Rivers character because you go back a bit back to the history of Rivers State, you will find that you did not have this drama. And within this period that you have had it, you will also find that the same elements have been behind it. The same elements have been responsible for the manifestation of this drama in all of the years in which they have occurred. So I think we probably have done what should not have been done in Rivers State. We probably have led people into sacred positions that such elements should not have gone into. That, for me, is the only reason I can say explains the direct shift and the radical shift from the character of Rivers politics to what it is now. I think this should serve as a lesson, not only for Rivers State,
right,
but for every other state, that you don't give what is precious to those who shouldn't be within precious environments.
Well, let's expand this conversation. We've since been joined by a legal practitioner, Mr. Wari, joins us via Zoom as well. And let me just ask you straight up, it looks like the ship has sailed now. The local governments now have new heads, albeit caretakers. Does this put to rest for you this political impasse, at least for now, till the courts maybe give their final judgment or rulings, as the case may be?
Okay, good afternoon, Kayode. Let me start by saying that I want to agree with the associate prof on the studio to the extent that when he said that it's unfortunate that Rivers State had degenerated to a state where individuals think that they can overwhelm the Constitution. I want to agree with him to that extent. Now, to your question, does this put to an end a political impasse in the state? My answer is capital no, it does not. Instead, it will even degenerate into a situation where you may have disturbances all over the states. Why do I say so? Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution is clear as to the existence of local government council. It enables the state houses of assembly to make law, to regulate the functions and even the funding of a democratically elected local government council, not caretakership. That provision, the import of that provision, it does not contemplate non-elected officers. So the import of that provision, there has been several judicial interpretations as to that provision. It therefore follows that what the Rivers State governor had done today by screening and appointing caretaker is clearly an operation of that very provision.
So, Mr. Wari,
which he swore. Yes.
Pardon me, quickly, I just want you also to speak to something that the Associate Professor Wakacha talked about, which a question I asked him actually about the three-member Okojumbo Assembly. there are questions and provisions about quorum and the rest. From your side, are they empowered to carry on with this duty that you just carried on today, even previously screening commissioner nominees? What does the law say about that for you?
River State has a 32-member assembly. One died, and then one on his volition resigned. We are left with 30-member assembly. The constitution is clear as to quorum, 2/3 of all members. If we have a 30-member assembly, 3 cannot be 2/3. I'm sure you know your mathematics very well. Secondly, the speaker, the constitution provides expressly as to how a speaker of assembly will march. The question is, did Victor Oko Jumbo emerge through the process of law? Of course, the answer is no. Secondly, no court of the land has said Martin Samebule is no longer the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Again, no court of the land also said Victor Jumbo. What we have is a situation where there was a restraining order against Martin Samebule and co. to say, do not, while this order is pending, do not perform your functions. Those are subject of appeal, which is to come up tomorrow. Those are subject of an appeal. So if you ask me, let me so that I'm able to answer your question clearly and directly. If you ask me, they are not empowered by the Constitution because he has not emerged through the process of the law as contemplated by the Constitution.
So here's what we'll do, gentlemen. We have to anchor at this point because of time, but clearly tomorrow will be pivotal. All eyes will be on the court. So we'll pick on this conversation definitely tomorrow and hope that the peace is maintained in Rivers State. I'd like to thank you so much, Associate Professor of Public Law, Richard Wokocha, join us via Zoom, and Mr. Wori, a legal practitioner. This is by no means the end to this conversation, but thank you so much for your time. Well, that's the show for today, everyone. You've been served clearly, but stay with Channels Television for all the breaking stories in Nigeria and across the world. I'm Kayode Kikulu. Goodbye.